From the South Point studio, the perfect blend of sports.
But I think the Niners are going to wear them down. Detroit Pistons lost their 36 games.
Comedy.
See over-under on that relationship lasting. I'm going to put mayo in the coffee.
Yeah.
I am beautiful. And a whole lot of Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Yeah. Pittsburgh.
Join Ryan McCormick.
That's at least 2 picks outside of our own in the first round next year. Oreo.
And host Frank Nicotero.
I look at the clock, I go, ah! Ah! Oh!
Watch Punchlines live at noon every weekday.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Who is there for heroes or the families left behind when a service member or first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our country's homeless veterans? And who helps our nation to never forget 9/11? Let me tell you who. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The foundation's Gold Star, Fallen First Responder, Smart Home, and Homeless Veteran programs comprise their In the Line of Duty programs. They're all dedicated to honoring our nation's heroes and their families. The foundation's Never Forget programs engage people in 9/11 remembrance across America. Over 80 runs, walks, and climbs a year, dozens of golf outings, and the Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute is educating kids in kindergarten through 12th grade to help our nation keep its vow to never forget. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. Never forget the sacrifices of our country's greatest heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program, coming to you live and direct from your gaming capital, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at the South Point Studios on the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. We invite you to go to YouTube and check us out. Just put in South Point Studios on your search bar, and you'll get right to us, and you can see us and hear us on the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show. And, of course, we welcome everyone else on the show that listens to us on the other platforms that we have. So we welcome you. Those running around town here might be listening to us on our anchor radio station here in Las Vegas, Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. Certainly on our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. How about your iPhone or your Android? Got that covered, too. We have, of course, the KSHP app that you can put on your devices so you can hear us, and certainly the YouTube app so you can see and hear us as well. And, of course, anywhere you get your podcasting. Simply put, however, wherever, whenever. Welcome to the Friday edition of the Race Day Show as we ramp it up for another weekend. Beautiful weather here in Las Vegas. It's going to be warm outside. We're going to get to about 101, 102 degrees today, and we're pushing through the low hundreds now for the rest of the foreseeable future. It's sunny and bright and beautiful this morning, right around the high 70s and high 80s here in Las Vegas. But we are looking ahead, as you know, 1 week from today. when the Belmont Racing Festival will start. Of course, the Belmont Racing Festival for the Belmont Stakes, etc. A 4-day racing meet at Saratoga and Saratoga Springs. It'll start actually on Thursday, this coming Thursday, the 6th of June. Remember, today's the last day of March, so when we turn the page, it'll be a new month tomorrow on the calendar. June 6th, next Thursday, will be the first of the festival 4 days. And then, of course, Friday the 7th, Saturday the 8th, which is, of course, the day of the Belmont Stakes. And, of course, on Sunday, they'll wrap it up there up in Saratoga Springs. So the big question is, as you know, when you're talking about Saratoga and remembering it in the summertime, so where the rain comes through and it's nice and then it gets muddy and you know the deal as far as the weather is there. But we're starting at the early part of June, so how will the weather be at Saratoga at this time of the year? Well, looking at the 10-day forecast, first of all, if they were running today at Saratoga, it would be mostly sunny and 83 degrees. It would be a beautiful day to be racing at Saratoga today, but they're not. And so looking ahead to Thursday, next Thursday, here's the predictions from the Weather Service. And all we can hope is that the Mother Nature is a racing fan, because it doesn't look too good as far as the forecast is concerned right now. This is the way it looks. Next Thursday, they say scattered thunderstorms, 58% of scattered thunderstorms on the opening of the 4-day meet there at Saratoga. On Friday, there are going to be showers in the morning, they say. Might be clearing up a little bit, 46% rain in the area, 76 degrees. On Thursday, you can top out at 77. Belmont Stakes Saturday. It calls for showers. 44% showers on Belmont Stakes Saturday, topping off at 73 degrees. And, of course, the day after, closing day of that meet, when they have the mandatory payoffs on everything. On that Sunday, continued showers, 56%, with a topper of 75. So if you can see Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday of next week, you're just looking at showers, if the weatherman is right, out at Saratoga for the special Belmont Stakes Festival weekend of racing. So there you have it. There it is. All right, now, a couple of more pieces of news as far as the Belmont Stakes is concerned. As you know, we're talking about a great summit of horses making it to the Belmont Stakes. One of them, of course, is the horse that got all the hype after winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and, of course, the Eclipse Award as a juvenile last year, Fastness. And after his big win in the Florida Derby, just absolutely crapped out in the Kentucky Derby. And so they've been bringing him back slowly, and they were pointing towards the Belmont Stakes as of yesterday. But come yesterday, trainer Todd Pletcher laid it on us. Fastness will not run in the Belmont Stakes 1 week from tomorrow. Fastness is going to the Haskell instead on the 20th of July. Now, this is what Todd Pletcher told the Daily Racing Form. He said, look, the horse needs a little more time after that race in the Derby. He said when he came back from Churchill Downs, he was a little tucked up. His appetite was a little off. And they just were thinking he'll benefit from a little more time. Now, Pletcher said, look, I'm happy with the way he's galloping, but he thinks he needs a little bit more time. So Fastness will not be going. He'll be pointing towards the Haskell Stakes on the 20th of July at Monmouth Park. Now, the Haskell Stakes is starting to shape up as a pretty good race, too, because Bob Baffert, who, as you know, had Muth. We still don't know the Muth is still waiting on the sidelines. He's probably going to go, not at the Belmont Stakes, obviously. But Baffert said that two of his trainees, Imagination, who ran, in the Derby, Imagination, and Prince of Monaco, another 3-year-old we haven't heard from in a while from the Baffert barn. He's pointing those two horses, to the Woody Stevens Stakes. And, of course, that's coming up at Belmont Park. And he will also have National Treasure for the Met Mile. Now, those two races will be during the Belmont Stakes Festival, the 4 days coming up next week. And, of course, Muth, as you know, he said earlier, is pointing toward the Haskell as well. So we got some maneuvering going on with some of the key horses in these races. Fastness and Muth, I guess, among others, like Batten Down maybe. Well, not so much Batten Down. Batten Down's going to the Ohio Derby. But Muth and Fastness now, if they stay on track this time, are going to clash maybe in the Haskell on the 20th of July. However, Todd Pletcher has 3 other horses that are pointing for the Belmont Stakes. He's going to run Mindframe, Antiquarian. Remember, Antiquarian won the Peter Pan, the New York prep race for the Belmont, and Protective as well. So Mindframe and Protective are new shooters on the block, and of course, Antiquarian won the Peter Pan. But Fastness will not go in the Belmont Stakes 1 week from tomorrow, and it looks like we might have to bring an umbrella with us if we're going to Saratoga during the festival. We'll wait and see about that. But things are changing. They're maneuvering as we move through now the summertime, the last of the Triple Crown races at Belmont, the Belmont Stakes, and of course, as we move through the summertime when you have key big races for 3-year-olds, the Haskell, and of course the Travers in the regular Saratoga meet as well. So we'll see how it all shakes out there. But as far as the Kentucky Derby winner, Mystic Dan, is concerned, Kenny McPeak still thinks he's ready to go for the Belmont. Said he's been doing well training up there, not a problem. Anna Marie, who got a new jockey in Florent Garreau. Anna Marie is doing very well as well. This horse deserves a clean break in the Belmont Stakes after that horrendous start in the Kentucky Derby. And of course, the Preakness Stakes winner for the coach, D. Wayne Lucas, sees the Gray is just doing fine. He's galloping well, and they say he's ready to go as well. So we're going to have a good Belmont Stakes anyhow, but some changes going on, that's for sure there. All righty, on today's show, Jonathan Hardon is going to be with us. We're going to go over the big stakes races tonight at Penn National. It's a big night at Penn National tonight. They have 6 stakes races there, including the Penn Mile. And, of course, that's a $400,000 race that's drawing in some other marquee jockeys and horses. So we'll go over those races at Penn National tonight with Jonathan Hardon, as well as his selections for Santa Anita and Churchill Downs. Rich Eng will be along. He'll have his selection as well. John Lindo checking in from Southern California. Santa Anita kicks up and runs again today for the weekend. And Jerry Jackowitz will be with us for a Santa Anita pick as well. And, of course, you got your racing menu, etc. Weather is fine here in Las Vegas in case you want to come out and join us this weekend and enjoy all the action in the race book here and certainly the sports book as well. So as we start this Friday show, we remind you that we're looking at horse racing Las Vegas style. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Friday show, coming to you live and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada, of course, at the South Point Studios here on YouTube. Want to remind everybody that it's going to be a fun weekend this weekend here. Come on out. The weather is going to be fine. Look, the temperatures across the country now are getting to be summertime type temperatures. You got 89 degrees in Miami, 78 degrees in New York, Chicago 79, Phoenix, Arizona, the hot spot of the nation, 105. Here, we're going to top out at 103, and, of course, in L.A., 74 degrees. So the weather is looking pretty darn good across the country. And as far as any precipitation, etc., most of the action is centered in South Texas at the near the Gulf Coast, and certainly in and through Nebraska and Oklahoma and parts of Arkansas and Missouri and Mississippi as well. But for the most part, at the most racing centers around the country, the weather should be fine. And so it's time to go to your racing menu for today, reminding you, as we always do, first post times we broadcast on this racing menu each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone, because that's where we're at here in Las Vegas in the Pacific time zone. These will be the first post times that roll out in our racebook adjacent to the studio right here. And of course, if you are in the Pacific time zone, no problem. These are the first post times. However, since we have all of those platforms that we're on and covering the world as we do, we know we're in other time zones. So if you're in another time zone, adjust it to the Pacific time zone so you don't miss anything like, of course, I miss Mom and Dad. Okay, here we go. Here's the menu for today. We begin with Belterra Park. Belterra Park has 8 races. Their first post time is 9:15. 9:15 at Belterra Park today. On clear day there, 9:15 at Belterra. Laurel Park. They're back at Laurel now after Pimlico's meet, that little Preakness meet they had. They're back at Laurel today. Laurel Park has 9 races. So their first post time at Laurel Park for this first day back there is at 9:25. 9:25. Then we go to Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Remember they had that twilight post time yesterday. They start early today. First post time is 9:45 at Churchill Downs. And Churchill Downs has a nice pick 6 jackpot carryover. $80,572, $80,572, a 9-race card at Churchill, and a first post time of 9:45. Then we go to Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream Park has 9 races today from Florida. Their first post time is at 9:55. They have a pick 6 jackpot carryover there. $254,188 in Gulfstream Park's Rainbow Jackpot pick 6 carryover. That at Gulfstream Park today. First post time, 9:55 there in Florida. Woodbine, north of the border in Canada, 8 races. First post time is 10:10 at Woodbine. How about a super high 5 jackpot carryover of $125,209 there? That's the super high 5 jackpot carryover, $125,209. They also have a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $19,296. A couple of nice carryovers there. Woodbine, first post time for 8 races, set at 10:10. Then we get to Santa Anita in Southern California. Santa Anita has 8 races today, and a first post time of 1 o'clock this afternoon. 1 o'clock at Santa Anita, of course, at the foot of the majestic San Gabriel Mountain Range in Arcadia. 1 o'clock, first post at Santa Anita. Penn National is a big night tonight at Penn National. They're going to start early. Their early post time is 2 p.m. Pacific time. That means 5 o'clock back there in on the East Coast where Penn National is at. 2 o'clock is the first post there. 11 races, 6 stakes races. They'll roll out like this. The $100,000 Leafard at 1.16 on the turf. The $100,000 With Anticipation at 1.16 on the turf. The Leafard for fillies and mares, and the With Anticipation for 3-year-olds and up. The $150,000 Penn Oaks for 3-year-old fillies at 1 mile on the turf. Sees a field of 12 there. And then the $400,000 Grade 3 Penn Mile at 1 mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. 10 go to the post in this one, and it is a wide-open affair. Tricari, the big long shot winner in his last stakes race, with Umberto Rispoli is there. Tricari, of course, you remember at, I think, odds of 47-1, won the Grade 2 American Turf on May 4th. Well, he's listed as the 3-1 favorite tonight, but he's the favorite in the Penn Mile, 10 in the race without any scratches so far. Then the 7th race will be the $50,000 Fabulous Strike, 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds and up. And the 8th race will be the $50,000 Penn Ladies Dash for fillies and mares at 6 furlongs. 11 races overall at Penn National tonight, and a first post time of 2 p.m. at Penn National tonight. And let's see if they have any carryovers there. Penn National has a nice super high 5 jackpot carryover, $4,228 at the Penn National carryover on the big night tonight. Evangeline Downs has 9 races. Their first post time is 3:30. You got Prairie Meadows kicking off at 4 p.m. The $75,000 Bob Bryant Stakes for 6 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies is their stakes race tonight. Prairie Meadows, again, first post time is at 4 p.m. They have a carryover in their super high 5 jackpot of $15,122. Prairie Meadows, 4 p.m., as well as Charlestown. Charlestown's first post time is also at 4 p.m. They have 8 races at Charlestown. Their pick six jackpot carryover, $17,241. 4 p.m. first post there as well. And Emerald Downs has 7 races from the Great Northwest. Emerald Downs has a first post time for their 7-race card set at 7 p.m. tonight at Emerald Downs. And that is your racing menu. You can see it there. Racing menu for today, Friday. That's for sure. All righty, time to bring in Jonathan Hardon. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I am doing fine, my man, and certainly we got a fun card tonight at Penn National Track that we don't normally, pay too much attention to, but tonight is their marquee night. Their big race is the Penn Mile, and they brought in, some of the invaders. When you put up 400,000, they'll come in to try to steal that money away from the locals. That's for sure.
And you got some top jockeys coming in as well. Pratt will be riding there. Umberto Rispoli will be riding there. So, if they're coming to ride, they're obviously good races.
Well, let's hope the weather stays nice at least there tonight. It does look like there's some fronts that are in the Midwest, but it doesn't look like they'll get to Pennsylvania too much too soon. That's for sure. So we've got 6 races. I guess we'll go in order just to take a look at those races and get a thought or two about them. The first of the 6 stakes races will come in the 3rd race tonight. At a mile and 16th on the turf for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, it's the Leafard. 10 are entered in the race. Too early for scratches, but 10 are entered in the race. Looks like a wide-open competitive race, at least by the morning line. The morning line favorite, Lukewarm at 7-2, is in a spin. And how do you spin this race?
Well, it's one of the few races where I don't have a strong opinion, actually. It's a wide-open race, like you said. The horse that I was most interested in was a horse named Anoint, the 9 horse on the far outside. Javier Castellano comes in to ride. This horse hasn't been out since November of last year. However, he ran super on the grass. She ran super on the grass last time out. I think she's going to get a great trip in here. And if I had to play, I'd bet number 9, Anoint, but she would have to be somewhat of a price. If she's short, I'm not interested.
All right, well, she's 6-1 on the morning line, and as we said, by morning line, by virtue of just the morning line, it looks like a pretty wide-open race. But you got Javi Castellano aboard, and when he comes into town, I'm sure people are going to take a second look at a horse that he's riding. But remember, these jockeys are picking up mounts in these other supporting stakes races, but their real key, the really wad there, of course, is for the Penn Mile, so we'll wait and see about that. 4th race is the $100,000 with anticipation. It's a mile and 16th on the turf for 3-year-olds and up. A field of 11, and again, the morning line favorite suggests a wide-open affair. Fletcher is the 7-2 morning line favorite in this one. How do you see this?
Yeah, I like this race. I like the number 4 horse in here, Crisper. This is a 5-year-old gelding from the Tim Woodley barn. This horse has 4 starts at this track, 3 seconds. So obviously he likes the turf course here. George Ruiz aboard to ride, and this is the regular rider for Graham Motion, so he's a good rider. You're getting 9-2. The horse is coming off of a layoff, but if they're bringing him back in this spot, you could be sure he's ready. Again, he certainly likes the track. You're getting 9-2. I like number 4, Crisper.
All right, 4th race, you like the 4. That's easy to remember. In case the folks out there are fans of jockeys and from their local area, Paco Lopez from his part of the country comes in to ride Market Maven in the race at 6-1. And then from Southern California, Umberto Rispoli will scale number 1, a Western Yarn at 5-1. And Flavian Pratt has him out in the race. The 11 horse, John Dutton at 10-1. So you're getting some prices on those invading jockeys, that's for sure. We're going to skip over the Penn Oaks and Penn Mile. We'll get back to them, but we're going to just talk quickly about the 2 stakes races that follow. They're $50,000 stakes races, but the 7th race will be the Fabulous Strike, 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds and up in that one. How do you see that?
I like the 8 in here. Meet Me at Mondays. Juan Hernandez is going to ride for Bruce Kravitz. This horse has 16 starts at Penn National, so he's been here a while. 5 wins, 4 seconds, so he certainly could handle the track. I think the race sets up well for this horse. If you get the 5-1, I like number 8, Meet Me at Mondays in the 7th.
Okay, that's the 7th race. The 8, Meet Me at Mondays. And, of course, when you're talking about Juan Hernandez, it's not the one from Southern California. Juan Hernandez, no. The Southern California Juan Hernandez is riding in Southern California today. I know he's a good jockey, but that's a little stretch to get into those two places, that's for sure. All right, the eighth race is the $50,000 Penn Ladies Dash at 6 furlongs for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. A short field of 5 looks competitive there as well. 2-1 favorite is New Air.
Yeah, new hire has this field over a barrel. I think that's all right. 5 for 14 lifetime. All 5 wins at Penn National. She draws well outside. Tyler Connor rides, and I think she's going to be very tough in here.
All right, so the local horse with the big string of local victories, kind of horse for course, that's for sure. In the Penn Ladies Dash, you like number 6, New Hire, the 6 horse in the 8th race. All right, now we're going to back up. We'll go back to the 2 big races of the night. The $150,000 Penn Oaks for 3-year-old fillies at a mile on the turf sees a full field of 12. So you're going to need a trip on that turf course, that's for sure. And in the race, the morning line favorite again is lukewarm at 7-2. That is a horse called Pounce with Javi Castellano aboard in that one. And of course, Flavian Pratt's got him out at 15-1, Dazzling Dictator. And you've got, Ramon Vasquez is in there with Buttercream Babe at 12-1. Frankie Dettori will be riding in this Penn Oaks. Frankie Dettori scales poolside with Slim at 6-1. And looks like, most of the invading jockeys got horses in this race, but it's a wide open affair.
Not so wide open. I think Pounce is going to be very tough to beat in here, Ralph. Drew a line through her last race at Keeneland. She just did not like that turf course. It had a lot of give in it that day, and she was hung out extremely wide. She had a tough trip. She's going to make amends today. Castellano re-rides. You're getting 7-2. It's a fair price. I think she'll beat that price because it is a full field and they have plenty of options. But I like number 10 Pounce in this spot.
All right, the 10 Pounce is your key. So Javi Castellano aboard that one as well. Let's hope. This filly likes the turf course at Penn National. That's for sure. And then the main event is the $400,000 Grade 3 Penn Mile at a mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. And it's an eclectic field to say the least. But I got to tell you that Tricari, who was that big 47-1 upset winner in Churchill Downs, is a Grade 2 American turf on the Kentucky Derby weekend, is the morning line favorite for this race. And of course, Umberto Rispoli will re-ride there. You got Flavian Pratt on Good Lord Laurie at 9-2. Frankie Dettori rides First World War at 4-1. Castellano is back aboard Please Advise at 6-1. And, this is going to be a heck of a race.
It is. These are some lightly raced horses, and the horse that I'm interested in is the number 2 horse, Good Lord Laurie, a 3-year-old called from the Peter Gillis barn. This guy's filling in for George Weaver. This horse only has 2 career starts. He's 2 for 2, but he's throwing them up against the Wolves tonight. He's putting him in a Grade 3 in career start number 3. You're getting Flavian Pratt. He rode this horse last time, so he's familiar with him. He's drawn inside 9-2, more than fair. I like number 2, Good Lord Laurie, to win this year's Penn Mile.
All right, Good Lord Laurie, you like the 2 in that race. And, of course, Dettori will be riding for Brandon Walsh. Mark Casse has a horse in that race set. As a matter of fact, going through the race real quick, the 1 is Aspenite, the 2 is Good Lord Laurie, the 3 is Truppenhagen, the 4 is First World War, the 5 is Dancing Groom, the 6, Please Advise, the 7 is Set, that's Cassie's horse. The 8 is Freedom Principle. The 9 is I Know Map. And the 10, of course, is Tricari. Tricari breaking from the outside post. Do you think that last race was a fluke, or do you think Tricari is a contender here?
No, he's he's an improving horse. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's lightly raced, and he really has run well in all of his races. The reason I went to the inside is because I think this horse may have a problem with the post position. The 10 post, not an easy post to win from at that track. It's, he's drawn on the extreme outside, and he's going to be the favorite. So I took a little bit of a price with an improving horse drawn inside.
Well, I know it'll be a fun night of racing. 11 races overall tonight at Penn National. Like I said, they have an earlier post time than usual. Their post time is 2 p.m. Pacific time. And, of course, these will be, a lot of fun races to play and watch from a place that we don't normally watch or play on a daily basis, but it's going to be fun tonight at Penn National, that's for sure. Hopefully the weather will hold there. It's okay right now.
Yeah, Saratoga's got to start worrying. We're up to about 50% on each one of those days coming up. And now we lost Fierceness out of the Belmont Stakes. So hopefully not too many more, avoid coming here or whatever or have to avoid the race for whatever reason. But you knew once Rapoli and Pletcher entered other horses in the race, or were talking about entering other horses, that should have been the tip-off that there's something up with Fierceness. And they love that horse. Rapoli, he was sure he was winning the Triple Crown this year with this horse. None of it panned out, and now he's forced to miss the Belmont.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, there's got to be something under the hood on this horse, doesn't there?
Yeah, same. That's the way I feel about Muth also, Ralph. The fact that he missed the Preakness, something came up, he spiked a fever, but he should have been all right to run in the bell bump, but no. So, who knows what goes on behind the scenes. They have a right to keeping it to themselves. They pay the bills, and it's their horses and they want to protect them. So they're doing what they think is right.
Jonathan, and another thing about, coming out of the Baffert barn, he's so prominent in these races for 3-year-olds throughout the year, really, and beyond the Triple Crown as well. I mean, they almost have to rename the Haskell to Bob Baffert Haskell. He's won that race so many times. But we're still waiting in search of his top horse from last year going into this year, Nice House. I mean, what's going on with him?
I don't know, Ralph. Everything is kept under lock and key. It's kind of, it's very secretive. They're not letting anything out really for the most part, and nobody's asking questions. And if they are, we're not getting answers. So,
all righty. Well,
it's the game. It's the nature of the game.
It sure is. And the other nature of the game is this. You've been giving us live horses, but they have just missed yesterday 2 really heartbreaking second place finishes in the third race. Man in the Can got there in the nick of time over Phantom Ride, who was closing under Keith Asmussen at a nice price there. So you finished second in that race. And then in the 6th race that was run on the turf, your selection, Dreaming of Mo, had to squeeze through a small opening down on the rail, so small that he did brush. But he was sitting in a perfect trip on the rail right behind the leaders, couldn't get through in time. And in the meantime, a huge long shot, Work of Fiction, roared from the outside under Mr. Arrieta and won and paid $48.50 while you ran second again there. But 2 nice second-place finishers. Certainly the horses are live, that's for sure. Jose Ortiz, who's riding there at Churchill Downs now, won 3 of the first 4 races yesterday at Churchill. Arrieta had a couple of wins as well. And even Brother Irad showed up. He won the last race there at Churchill as well. So, but nice picks. Just if you bet win in place, you're okay.
Yeah, Jose Ortiz, by the way, started off pretty slow the first couple of days he was there. He was shut out, but now he's winning 3 races a day, and he's really, showing what kind of great rider he is.
All right, time to get a few picks that we can bet win and place today.
Yeah. All right, Ralph, let's look at the 6th race today at Churchill. And again, this is turf only. This is a mile on the turf, scheduled for the turf. I don't think there's any weather issues, but I'm just pointing out it's for turf only. And I like the number 10 horse in here, Double Clutch, a 5-year-old gelding from the George Arnold barn. Jose Ortiz aboard to ride. He's listed at 7-2 on the morning line. His one and only win was at this distance. I think he's going to get a great trip in here. 7-2 on the morning line. Number 10, Double Clutch, wins today's 6th race out at Churchill Downs.
Well, I hope when the jock double clutches him, he's got another high gear in him, that's for sure, to get the win there in the 6th race. Number 10, Double Clutch. The 10, Double Clutch in the 6th race at Churchill is Jonathan's first pick, and I would assume you'll probably go to Santa Anita for your next one.
Yeah, we're going to go to Santa Anita, look at their 8th and final. And by the way, this is a full field of 9, so that's good. And I like the number 3 horse in here, Jessie Bear, a 5-year-old mare from the Aggie Ordonez barn, Diego Herrera aboard to ride. She's listed at 3-1 on the morning line. You're going to get every bit of it in this full field. I think this horse works out a great trip, breaking from the inside today. 3-1 on the morning line. Number 3, Jessie Bear, wins today's 8th and final out at Santa Anita.
And we hope he's a bear enough to win the race, that's for sure. In the 6th race, in the 8th race, the 3, Jesse Bear, the 3 in the 8th race, the 8th and final race at Santa Anita is Jonathan Hardon's pick, number 3 in the 8th. And, of course, Jonathan, you got 3 full sheets today of Santa Anita and Churchill as well as Gulfstream, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for your input into the night of racing at Penn National. We'll certainly be watching and betting there as well as the other racetracks, and we will, of course, talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe and be well, my friend.
You got it, my man. Okay, coming up next on the show is Rich Eng. He's standing by, and we'll see how he's, his thoughts about the NBA as they're winding down to the final 2 teams that are going to play for the NBA championship, and of course horse racing as well. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Who is there for heroes or the families left behind when a service member or first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our country's homeless veterans? And who helps our nation to never forget 9/11? Let me tell you who. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The Foundation's Gold Star, Fallen First Responder, Smart Home, and Homeless Veteran programs comprise their In the Line of Duty programs. They're all dedicated to honoring our nation's heroes and their families. The Foundation's Never Forget programs engage people in 9/11 remembrance across America. Over 80 runs, walks, and climbs a year, dozens of golf outings, and the Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Institute is educating kids in kindergarten through 12th grade to help our nation keep its vow to never forget. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. Never forget the sacrifices of our country's greatest heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Friday show. We now bring in Rich Eng. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
All right, well, I guess the NBA, the Dallas Mavericks polished off the Timberwolves 124-103 last night, and I guess we got the final set now?
Yeah, the Mavericks put the Timberwolves out of their misery last night, just blew them out early and often. So now you've got Boston Celtics against the Dallas Mavericks. The opening lines for the series, the Celtics opened up as minus 220 favorite, and the Mavericks are plus 190. So the bookmakers like the Boston Celtics to win the NBA championship.
Richie, when's the first game start in the championship? When's the first game?
You know, I did not look at the schedule yet, so I'm not sure how many days off that they'll have, but we'll see what happens. I believe Boston has the extra game, the extra 4 home games out of 7.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see about that. That's for sure. I do want to make one correction real quick here. I said that Jonathan Hardon gave us 2 horses that ran second. He did not. He gave us 1 horse that ran second. The other horse that ran second yesterday at Churchill was John Lindo's horse, so I want to make that correction, that's for sure. Handicappers giving us live horses, and so did you, because you gave us a winner at Horseshoe Indianapolis with good governance that got home and won and paid $4.80 for that win there at Horseshoe Indianapolis. So you're doing well. I think you had 1 loser in the last week and a half, right?
Yeah, we had a good week last week, knocked out 5 winners. We got the 1 winner yesterday. Good governance, as I said, was an old Chad Brown class horse, stakes runner, and he's worked his way down to the claiming levels. But that back class, sometimes horses just off memory, Ralph, can figure out how to get to the winner's
Yeah,
circle.
when they find a level, when they get a little older and a little slower, but when they find a level that they can beat, the class certainly shows up. That's for sure,
Yep.
and that looks like what happened yesterday. But you have a Southern California handicapping sheet every day that's Southern California racing, so that means you have a Santa Anita sheet today at the racedaylasvegas.com website. Just go there and get Richie's selections. Richie, before we get your selections now, we know the NBA, the final is now set, but we know that we're still going on with the National Hockey League. So how's the hockey looking?
Yeah, the hockey's really very, very tight, Ralph. Both series are tied at 2 games apiece. Rangers and Florida Panthers. The Panthers actually won in overtime last night, so they go up 3 games to 2. They won at Madison Square Garden. But the other series, the Stars and the Edmonton Oilers, is tied 2-2. And in professional sports, I read this on the VSiN website, Ralph, is the fact that in professional sports, in a best-of-7 series, when it's tied 2 games apiece, the team that wins Game 5 wins the series 75% of the time. So that's a good sign for the Florida Panthers. They won Game 5 last night. Game 5 tonight between the Stars and the Oilers. We'll see what happens. The game is in Dallas, and we'll see if who wins that Game 5.
All right. Well, Dallas may be living large here in the finals if that team keeps going, that's for sure. And now we get back to racing and at Santa Anita. Richie, I know that you had mentioned yesterday that for the Belmont Stakes coming up, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, you're doing a special handicapping sheet again, as you did for the Derby and the Preakness, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Ralph. Brisnet.com reached out to me to see if I wanted to do a Belmont Stakes Day card, and I'll do a full report, 14 races. Usually it's about 6 or 7 pages because I do about a half a page on each race. So I'll be doing that for the Belmont Stakes Day card, and look forward to it. It's fun to handicap a card like that with so many stakes races and quality races. And the angle, it's up at Saratoga, which is a track that you and I and all the listeners love.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And by the way, not only that Saturday, Belmont Stakes Day, but along the way, the 4-day racing festival will have great races on it as well on Friday, and of course Thursday and Sunday as well. So we'll just let's hope that the Mother Nature is a racing fan, and the predictions of showers there just won't materialize. But we'll wait and see about that. In the meantime, Southern California is nice, clear, and fast. So what are we doing today at Santa Anita?
Let's go to race 6. It's a mile on the grass. The turf rail's out 30 feet, Ralph. It's claiming 30, and a horse that's running first time for a claiming tag is the number 2, Malibu Coast. Michael McCarthy's the trainer. A key vote is he legs up Juan Hernandez to ride. This horse, quite frankly, Ralph, has not won in 2 years since Del Mar of 2022, but first time for a claiming price. I mean, this is a pretty good spot to get a confidence builder. So let's go with the 2, Malibu Coast, race 6, Santa Anita.
All right, 6th race at Santa Anita today, mile on the turf. Richie gives us number 2, Malibu Coast, the 2 in the 6th race, your selection. Don't forget the rest. You can get Richie's full sheet at the racedaylasvegas.com websites. Okay, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk. Do you have any thought about the Penn Mile? I should ask, I guess.
You know, in all candor, I haven't looked at it, but, one reason that all those stakes races are early in the card, Ralph, is that Penn National, even though they do have lights, the lights are only on the main track, so the turf races have to be run in the daylight.
Yeah, well, we're getting longer days, that's for sure. I think the longest day will be sometime this month, so the light should be no problem, that's for sure. Hey, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All righty, our final segment comes up right after this last break with John Lindo and Jerry J. Don't go away.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Going to wrap it up for this Friday. Don't forget, we got a big weekend coming up, and our start times on the weekend, same as the weekdays, 7 a.m. right here where you're watching and listening now. Now we go to John Lindo standing by in Southern California. No problem with the weather there this time around, John. Good morning.
No, we've got the June gloom is here in May, but that's okay. It's nice and cool. It'll clear off this afternoon. Be a perfect day for racing in Santa Anita.
You know, Jonathan and I were talking, earlier about some of the horses from these big trainers like Fierceness now out of the Belmont, going to point to the Haskell. And I think Bob Baffert said he's appointing Muth to the Haskell. And he'll have a couple of runners, though, over the weekend at Saratoga. But what's going on with Nisos? Anybody hear anything about that?
He hasn't been on the work tab. From what I understand, he is in the barn at the Santa Anita with Bob Baffert, but he has not worked back yet. You know, he was a scratch. Oh, gosh. Was it the San Felipe? I can't remember what race it was already. But I know that he was under some vet protocols at that time. So they're just, when he makes the work tab, we'll pick it up and let everybody know. But from what I understand, nothing major. They're just giving him some time. And, when he's ready to go, he'll make the tab and we'll get back to work.
Did you take a look at all at any of the races tonight at Penn National, especially the Penn Mile?
I just took a brief look at the Penn Mile, and the one horse to me that's interesting is Set. I think he's number 7 on the program, completely eliminated in the race at Keeneland last time. He broke well in his 2 starts at Gulfstream. If he breaks tonight, he's going to be the leader. And if they leave him alone on the front end, he's a pretty nice horse. I think there's some value maybe in Set there, and just hope he breaks and makes the lead.
Okay, and of course the Penn Mile again tonight at Penn National is the 6th race on the card. Of course, Jonathan came with the 2, and you come with the 7. So those are 2 horses we'll look at in that big race at Penn National. Today at Santa Anita, the entries were a little bit light, but there are quite a few competitive races, and we got a couple of races for 2-year-olds tonight. A lot of maiden races for 2-year-olds starting to dot the end of the Hollywood Park meet before we get to Los Alamitos.
Well, yeah, we need them. You got to get these 2-year-olds into the rotation, make them winners, and then we can start filling some other divisions as well. So all of that helps the horse population down the line. And Del Mar, you never know what you're going to see. When Bob Baffert brings out his army, I'm sure we'll see a nice juvenile or 2 at the very least from Baffert.
No question about that. And I understand that we're going to have a race for 2-year-olds on the turf coming up this soon.
This weekend, the very first, I think it's tomorrow, the first grass race, 5 furlongs on the grass for 2-year-olds. And, it's tough enough trying to figure them out off of dirt works, and now they're going to a surface they've never been on. So we'll do our best anyways, Ralph.
Yeah, breeding maybe, and, maybe the penchant of trainers and how they, have turf horses might be part of the handicapping there. All right, we begin Santa Anita this week, so we got an update on jock trainers.
Right, your leading rider, Antonio Friso, he's got 21 wins. Juan Hernandez right behind, he's got 20. Umberto Rispoli, who you mentioned, is at Penn National tonight. He's got 18. He will sit out a couple of days. Starting tomorrow, he's got a 3-day suspension. And then you have Kyle Frey with 17. As far as the trainers go, Mark Glatt and Phil D'Amato are tied at 11 wins each. And then you have Doug O'Neill and Steve Knapp right behind with 10.
And how about them favorites?
Favorites, 31.7%, so they're holding below the norm here so far at this meet.
Yeah, a little bit below the norm. Of course, Monday's a big, crazy bombshells of payoffs helped out with that stat, that's for sure. All right, got to remind everybody, John Lindo's Lindo Report available only in one place, and that is right here at the South Point and the South Point Racebook. You get the selections for all the races, the suggested late pick 4, and all that good information plus that we just talked about. And, of course, John will have a selection off that Lindo Report for us right now. John, I almost didn't give you credit, but I corrected it, saying you had a nice second-place finisher yesterday at Churchill, as well as Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. Horse had dead aim and couldn't get by there in deep stretch. Yeah. A little frustrating, but the horse ran well. 3-1 was a fair price.
He sure did. What do we got today?
Let's go down to the 8th and final. I'll take on John Hardon. Looking for some value. I like number 5. Quantum Energy is a 3-year-old filly who beat older fillies breaking her maiden last time. She's gotten better with every start. There's some speed in here. I like the jockey switch to Hector Barrios. and she's capable of making the last run. She's 6-1 in the program. She'll need to improve today, but I think she's got it in her. Number 5, Quantum Energy, race number 8, Santa Anita.
8th and final race, you like the 5, Quantum Energy. Jonathan comes with the 3, so we'll give you the 5 as credit there. And first, it looks like I might have 2 Siraco plays today. We'll wait and see. But in the 8th race, the Siraco play, the exacta box of 3553. Your selection is the 5. Get the rest here at the South Point. Only place you can get the Lindo Report here in Vegas, free of charge, right at the South Point Racebook. They love horse players and certainly love John Lindo's selections as well. Thanks a lot, John.
All right. Good luck today, Ralph.
Going out to Jerry Jackowitz now. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, now, Jerry, when we get to the races with 2-year-olds, limited amount of information that you can use. How do you approach those races with the 2-year-olds?
They're not races to me. They don't exist. Once they've had a race or two, maybe I can have some feel for it.
Sure.
What's my advantage? I mean, what's any of our advantages in one of these races where there's 5 or 6 2-year-olds going 4.5 furlongs who have never raced?
So I guess
even the clocker's advantage is somewhat muted because, who knows exactly what they're going to do the first time out of the gate. But given that the clockers have an advantage, why do I want to switch places with them? Why do I want them to punch me in the mouth?
Okay.
It's not my advantage, and I don't think it's yours, and I don't think it's anybody's unless they have a connection to a clocker.
Okay. I guess the normal handicappers would just do something with breeding and the penchant of the trainer, whether they are the type of trainer to get horses ready early.
Yeah, that's as weak as it gets.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, the trainer is 20%. That means he's 1 in 5 chances of winning. If you're 5-1, you're maybe break even on that one stat alone.
Mm-hmm.
But even that 20%, it's not including just 4.5 furlong 2-year-olds. It's a mishmash of many things. Louis Mendez is pretty good at it. But you know it, and now everybody else in the world knows it. So where's your edge? Where is your edge?
Well, yeah,
Where's your advantage?
You want advantage, that's for sure. Let's get an advantage today, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. That's
the only reason I'm playing is for an advantage. If not, what's the point?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go to the 6th race. By the way, in the 8th race, just FYI for everybody, while the power pages are still only $5, we have a star horse and a B horse in the 8th race to go with John's horse and John's horse.
Yeah, I see that. So we got a star and a V that could add to the mix in the 8th race. What about the 6th?
Let's go to the 4 horse, National General. It's an interesting horse, and our advantage actually here might be in that Rispoli is not racing, is not on the horse day. Diego Herrera takes the 4 horse National General. This gelding is consistent. He's hard hitting. He runs good enough to win. He's got a good post. One of his competitions got a bad post. He starts to put together. This horse has a real chance to win at 5-2 or better. I think that's okay. I'll take the 4 over the 2-5-6. I'll reverse 2-5-6 back over the 4. The 4 National General. For Georgie, I'm going to try Papa Bedromo.
You got it. All right, 6th race, the 4 National General. The 4 over 2, 5, and 6, and reverse. Jerry J's play is the 4. As I said, I thought I'd get a second Siraco play today, and I did. Rich Eng dropped in that race as well. He liked the 2 Malibu Coast. So the Siraco play is going to be the exacta box of 2-5-5-2 in that 6th race. And your selection, of course, is, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
4.
4. 2-4-4-2. I take exception. Right. I correct myself. 2-4.
And, I have the 2 in my spread. I like the 2 plenty well.
Yeah, you do too. Yeah. The 2-4-4-2 is the Siraco play. That's the exacta box there. You like the 4 over the 2, 5, and 6, and reverse. Just wanted to make sure of that correction because I don't want to be punching wrong tickets for myself either. That's for sure. The power page, Jerry J's power page, is available right now at jerryjspowerpage.com. And, of course, Jerry will be back in business when we get started with Saratoga, the Belmont short meet there at Saratoga on Thursday. In the meantime, for this race day show, we're wrapping it up, reminding you we'll be back tomorrow morning, God willing, creek don't rise, at the same start time as today. And I know Jerry's got one more thing to say, and I do believe he's going to say
it. All right. Have a great race day, everybody.